Welcome to today's deep dive, everyone. I am so excited you're here with us because, well, I have a question for you right up front. Have you ever noticed how the exact same frustrating themes just keep repeating in your life?
Oh, absolutely. Like different faces, different places, but the exact same struggles, right?
Exactly. And today we are on a mission to figure out why that happens. We're dissecting a really fascinating excerpt from a 2023 YouTube video. It's from the channel AH11.11, and it features the teachings of Abraham Hicks.
Yeah, and if you follow this space, you probably already know the basic mechanics of the law of attraction. So we are definitely not going to just rehash the basic, like attracts like stuff today.
Right, no textbook stuff. Instead, we want to explore the advanced mechanics, like why we actually block the things we desperately want, how we get trapped in these exhausting behavioral loops, and this really nuanced concept the source calls vibrational relativity.
Which is a brilliant term, honestly.
It really is. Okay,
Yeah.
let's unpack this. Because to understand why those patterns repeat, we first have to understand what actually happens to the things we ask for. The source says that whenever you ask for something, it is instantly given.
Always given.
Always. And it's lovingly held for you in something they call vibrational escrow.
Yeah, and if you think about traditional finance, an escrow is just a neutral third-party holding account. So if you're buying a house, your money goes into escrow. The money exists, it's allocated to the seller, but it's held safely out of reach until all the contractual conditions of the sale are completely met.
Right.
So the source is arguing that the universe operates just like a vibrational escrow account. When you ask for an improvement, whether that's, a new career, a healthier body, more money.
Or a better relationship.
Exactly. The request is instantly granted, the result is generated right then and there, and it's held for you in this energetic holding area. But just like with real estate, you cannot take delivery of the asset until you meet the conditions.
Right, but I gotta say, that sounds incredibly frustrating. Like, if it's already given, why can't we see it? Why are we struggling?
Yeah.
I was thinking about it like this. Imagine you've just paid for a piping hot pizza from your favorite restaurant.
Okay, I love where this is going.
And the delivery driver is standing on your front porch. They are holding the box. They are completely ready to hand it over to you. But instead of just opening the door, you deadbolt it.
Right.
You turn off all the porch lights, you close the blinds, and you just stand there in your dark living room screaming to anyone who will listen that you are starving to death.
That is, it sounds completely absurd when you frame it like that. But according to the material we're looking at, that is the exact dynamic most of us are acting out every single day.
Yeah, with our money, our health, our relationships, we're starving in the dark while the pizza is just sitting on the porch. Because the condition to get it isn't signing a piece of paper, it's matching a frequency.
Exactly. The source originally used the analogy of a radio dial, which, maybe feels a tiny bit dated now, but the underlying physics are totally rock solid.
Oh, for sure.
You cannot set your radio dial to 6:30 a.m. and expect to hear what is broadcasting on 98 FM. It's just a mechanical impossibility.
It's like trying to connect to a Wi-Fi network with your receiver turned off. You can scream at your laptop all you want. You can beg the file to download, but if the frequencies don't align, nothing happens.
What's fascinating here is that the universe doesn't deal in human morality. It doesn't care about deservedness or who worked the hardest. It deals strictly in resonance. And this is where that concept of vibrational relativity comes in. It's simply the measurable gap or the relationship between the frequency you are broadcasting right now and the frequency of the thing waiting for you in escrow.
So if you want profound financial abundance, that reality vibrates at a frequency of security and freedom and ease.
Right. But if your day-to-day frequency is just broadcasting pure panic about your bills.
Or resentment toward wealthy people.
Yes. If you're doing that, your vibrational relativity is entirely out of sync. You are tuned to the network of lack. And the universe physically cannot deliver the asset of abundance through a network of lack.
Okay, but if it is really that mechanical, if it is literally just a matter of tuning our internal radio dial to the right network so we can finally get the things we've been asking for, why is it so agonizingly difficult for us to just switch the channel?
Well, the source breaks this down, and it basically comes down to an evolutionary trap. They refer to it as the trap of observing what is.
Oh, man. We have to linger on this because what is the exact anchor dragging down almost every single person listening to this right now.
Oh, totally.
The text describes it as this self-sustaining closed-loop cycle. So you look at your current condition, let's say it's your bank account balance, and it's terribly low. That balance is your what is.
Right, the hard reality.
Yeah. And you have a visceral, negative emotional reaction to that empty bank account. You broadcast a frequency of panic. Then the law of attraction matches that panic frequency, and it delivers more circumstances that induce panic.
And then you receive those new stressful circumstances, you look at them again, and the loop just keeps repeating.
Exactly. And the source brings up some very specific, very heavy examples of these what-is conditions. They call this whole thing the action journey.
Yeah, the physical reality we're dealing with.
Right. And they talk about scenarios where, someone is hyper-focused on being 200 pounds overweight, or maybe they just got a terminal medical diagnosis, or on a smaller scale, getting slapped with a speeding ticket, or having your romantic partner suddenly run off with someone else.
Those are undeniably heavy realities, and because they carry so much psychological weight, our immediate human tendency is to just use brute force to try and fix them.
Yeah, we want to wrestle it to the ground.
We do. We try to control the external conditions so that we can finally feel safe internally. And the source points out how this brute force reflex, it scales all the way up to a global level.
Oh, right, the big institutions.
Exactly. We use massive political parties, giant religious gatherings, armies, or even literal bombs to try and force the outside world to behave in a way that makes us comfortable.
And the text actually calls this a form of conditional love. Like, I will only allow myself to feel good on the condition that my bank account grows, or my partner comes back, or my specific political party wins.
Which is a fundamentally broken engine for creating reality. It simply does not work.
Okay, wait, I have to push back here, because the source uses an extreme example in the text, and I think we need to address it.
Go for it.
So they bring up this scenario where you're walking down the street and you stumble upon a brutal fist fight, like a massive bully is just beating the daylights out of a smaller, defenseless person.
Right, I remember that part.
And the text seems to suggest that you shouldn't get entangled in the what-is of that condition. But if I walk up on a physical assault, my adrenaline is pumping, someone is getting destroyed right in front of me, are they honestly suggesting I just stand on the sidewalk and, check my vibrational frequency? Or make a list of positive aspects about the bully?
No, they aren't.
Because in that moment, jumping into the action seems like the only logical step. Doing a meditation seems like way too little, way too late.
And the source isn't advocating for pacifism or ignoring someone who is in immediate physical danger. You'd obviously intervene, but you are describing an emergency reflex.
Okay.
The text is addressing the overarching engine of how we create our entire lives. If we connect this to the bigger picture, the flaw isn't in taking action to stop a sudden crisis. The flaw is in believing that action is the only tool you have to navigate your existence.
Ah, I see.
If your whole life consists of running from one metaphorical fistfight to another, constantly putting out fires with brute force, you have a vibrational problem, and action alone can never, ever solve that.
Right, because you might stop that specific bully today, but if your frequency is still rooted in conflict and victimization, the law of attraction is just going to deliver a different bully tomorrow.
Exactly. Action is a part of our experience, but relying entirely on it ignores the deeper truth of how things actually manifest.
So we have to distinguish between putting out a sudden fire and, building a fireproof house so we stop attracting arsonists in the first place.
That is a perfect way to put it. And it brings us to the core concept of this whole text. The reality that we are all living two concurrent journeys every single day.
Yes, the action journey and the vibrational journey. Let's map these out for everyone, because this is where the material gets intensely practical.
Yeah, it really does.
So the action journey is what we've been talking about. It's the physical, tangible what is. It's what you've come to. And it's not going to change this red-hot minute. If you're 200 pounds overweight, biology requires time. You aren't dropping it in 60 seconds.
Right. But running simultaneously in the exact same moment is your vibrational journey or your emotional journey. And this journey doesn't require time at all. It's strictly about how you feel right now.
And the source shares this amazing anecdote about a woman who is dealing with really painful arthritis in her hips. On the action journey, the physical data is clear. She has painful hips today. And because physical healing takes time, she is probably going to have painful hips tomorrow. That's the action journey.
It's stubborn.
Very stubborn. But on her vibrational journey, she actually has options. She can sit in her chair with her painful hips and be incredibly fearful and resentful about it. Or she can sit in that exact same chair with the exact same pain and find a way to feel hopeful.
Exactly. She can focus on a memory she loves or just appreciate the sunlight coming through the window. The physical data is identical in both scenarios, but the vibrational relativity is worlds apart.
So what does this all mean for her? Like practically, why does that internal shift matter if she's still sitting there hurting today?
Because that massive vibrational difference dictates the trajectory of her action journey moving forward. It dictates how many more days she will walk into the future with that pain.
Wow.
Right. Because society often teaches us that pain and struggle are inherently good or noble. We think we have to suffer and wrestle our conditions to the ground to earn our relief.
Yeah, the whole no pain, no gain mindset.
Exactly. And it causes us to obsess over the condition rather than just caring about how we feel in the moment. But waiting for the condition to change before you allow yourself to feel relief is an energetic dead end.
Okay, so if caring about how we feel is the ultimate key to changing the action journey and unlocking that vibrational escrow, how do we know if we are successfully shifting our vibration?
Well, we use our internal guidance system.
And here's where it gets really interesting. Because the speakers in the text, Jerry and Esther, they tell this highly relatable story about their vehicle's navigation system.
I love this story.
It's so good. So they are starting their drive in Phoenix, Arizona, and they program the GPS device for San Diego, California, which is out west.
Right.
But somehow they get turned around and they start heading toward Yuma, which is east. It's the complete opposite direction. And the moment they do this, the GPS device throws an absolute relentless fit.
It just loses its mind.
Yeah, starts blaring over the speakers. When possible, make a legal U-turn. When possible, make a legal U-turn.
And we all know how obnoxious that sound is. But we have to look at why the GPS is doing that. It isn't punishing the driver. It isn't judging them morally for driving toward Yuma.
Right, it's just math.
Exactly. The system knows the requested destination is west. It detects the vehicle is moving east. The alarm sounds purely because the current trajectory is in direct opposition to what was asked for.
And the source maps this GPS fit directly onto our own negative emotions. When you feel bad, when you feel anxiety or anger or despair, it is not a punishment. It's not a sign that you're broken.
Not at all. It is literally just your internal guidance system yelling at you to make a legal U-turn. Because you are currently focusing on a thought that is in opposition to the desire you put in escrow.
Yeah, negative emotion is just real-time data. And the text has another really funny anecdote that highlights how to apply this data without wrestling the condition.
Oh, the microphone story.
Yes. So Jerry and Esther are in their studio, and suddenly their microphone starts blaring this horrible, shrieking feedback into the computer. And the weird thing is, the mic is physically muted, so it makes no logical sense.
Most people would completely freak out and stop everything to fix the action problem.
Right. They would spend 3 hours tracing cables, tearing apart the soundboard, trying to get to the bottom of the what is.
They don't do that. Instead of getting bogged down, they recognize the friction, they switch to a different guest microphone, see that the audio is clean, and they just keep going.
They didn't wrestle the condition. They didn't need to fundamentally understand the problem before they allowed themselves the relief of a solution. They just shifted their approach.
They made the U-turn.
Exactly. Which raises an important question. If our emotions are just a navigational tool, how do we take back our creative control once and for all? The source says you have to declare it, you have to decide. It matters to me how I feel. Good means good.
Good means good. It's so simple, but it's profound. If a thought feels good, you are facing San Diego. You are heading toward your escrow. If it feels bad, you are facing Yuma.
You're deadbolting the door on the pizza guy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, to wrap this up and bring it all together for you. Your desires, the things you really want, they are fully formed and waiting in vibrational escrow right now.
Yep, sitting on the porch.
To get them, you have to stop staring at the what is of your action journey. You have to tune your radio dial by focusing on your vibrational journey.
Yeah.
And most importantly, listen to your emotional GPS when it tells you to make a U-turn.
And you know, there's one final lingering thought pulled directly from the end of this source material that we have to share.
Oh, the 3-step process.
Yes. The source briefly mentions that creation is a 3-step process. Step 1 is you experience life, and contrast causes you to ask for something. Step 2 is the universe immediately answers, and puts it in escrow. Step 3 is you aligning your frequency to allow it in.
Right.
But they drop this massive revelation. They state that steps 1 and 2 are cleverly orchestrated and managed perfectly by the universe, entirely without us even needing to know about them.
The universe is already perfectly executing the first 2 steps of every single thing you desire, totally without your input.
It's incredible.
So I want to leave you with this question. If the universe is perfectly managing steps 1 and 2, how much unnecessary, agonizing, painful, heavy lifting are you trying to force in your own life right now just to complete step 3?
Wow. Yeah, that's the real question.
Are you exhausting yourself trying to do the universe's job? Maybe today is the day you stop fighting the conditions. Just check your emotional GPS today and let the pizza be delivered.
Focus on the feeling, not the problem.
We'll be back soon with another deep dive. Stay curious.